Grubby, churlish and confused contribution that was from the former Minister of Housing. And it's worth pointing out to the House and to anybody listening that that former minister has not been a part of the Select Committee since the change of government, has not been working with our committee as we have done considerable work in a very constructive manner. And I therefore want to turn back and thank, as my colleague Hekia Parata did, the previous Labor Speaker, Moana Maki, who I too acknowledge has a genuine and detailed knowledge of these issues and who has made a very constructive contribution. And it's very disappointing that here, as we stand in the third reading of this debate, we had to listen to an attack on members of this House and comments, and she continues to interrupt now, comments that actually wandered far away from the point of this bill. And sadly, Mr Speaker, I have to move on in a minute or so to a Select Committee and can't do justice to some of those comments. But I would just make the point that our Select Committee heard considerable contributions from a wide number of submitters who were heard very, very comprehensively, whose points have been taken on board. We've had two ministers during the course of the passage of this legislation through the House who have both given it considerable attention, and I commend them for the work that they have done. There is no doubt, Mr Speaker, that this is a very significant piece of legislation. I do acknowledge the work that was done by the previous government, but I certainly dispute the suggestion that we have been sitting on our hands in bringing it back to the House. This is a piece of legislation that required the work that it has received. New Zealanders have heard a lot of talk about simplifying regulations in recent times. This government has brought this to a conclusion. I'm very proud to commend it to the House and delighted to see that it will soon become the law of New Zealand.
Call Gareth.